Good morning. What is integrity? We throw that term around, especially right now. We have the whole election cycle going on, and people are throwing terms around like integrity and things like that. But what actually is integrity? According to Webster's 1828 dictionary, integrity is wholeness or entireness, an unbroken state. It is the unimpaired state of anything, particularly of the mind, moral soundness or purity. It also means incorruptness or uprightness. Um, it comprehends the whole moral character, and really has really tight references also to just mutual dealing. So how we deal with each other, transferring property, or things like that. It also has the idea of being genuine, unadulterated. Um, Even has a tie to purity of language. Why even talk about this? Well, if you're reading through Proverbs, then the proverb today is chapter 19, and the very first verse is, "Better is the poor that walketh in his integrity than he that is perverse in his lips and is a fool." So let's look at a few more words of this, and then we'll kind of put this together. Walk, it means to go or to walk. And it's really unique that this word also means behave, vanish, die or pass away, to bring or to take, to lead or to escort. So this verse encompasses about every piece of life that it could be. So whether we're talking about walking as we're going our lives, as we're moving our behavior, when we leave this world, when we die, when we pass away, if we're bringing something to somebody, if we're taking something, if we are leading or we are escorting somebody, this has to do with every piece of life. So better is the poor that lives and dies in his integrity, in his purity, in his unbroken state, in his entireness, in the uprightness of his moral character, than he that is perverse. And the word perverse means twisted or false. And he says is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Who is perverse in his lips. Literally the word lips or language. And this word fool means stupid or insolent. Now we use stupid as a derogatory term. We call people stupid. Stupid literally means very dull or insensible, someone who is senseless or wants for understanding. They're mentally sluggish, or they are just like heavy, mentally heavy. And then insolent means to be proud or haughty, to have contempt of others, to be overbearing or domineering. And it's just sort of a haughty, contemptuous attitude or behavior. So he's saying it is better to be poor and live and behave and die in integrity, in wholeness, in purity, and being genuine, than the person who is twisted and false in his speech and is haughty and proud and overbearing. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Integrity is so important and so lacking in our society today. We lie at the drop of a hat. We cheat at the drop of a hat. As a people, I'm speaking generally, obviously, very broad brush. I'm just saying society as a whole has no problem with that. I mean, think about the TV shows that we watch. There's only a few true scenarios. I don't remember what it is. It's like there's only 6 life scenarios or something like that. There's actually very few, and if you look at all these TV shows and the movies we watch, they're all variations on a theme. But if you look at the vast majority of our shows, relationships are all built around being deceptive somehow. The comedy of always trying to, not get caught, and not even so much as cheating or things like that, as far as, adultery or things like that, but just, you know, couples are always getting into trouble doing something, then lying about it, and then getting caught somehow. But it's all based in integrity. It's all based in a lack of integrity. So even our TV shows that we watch, the things that we see, are really centered around this idea that integrity doesn't matter. We talk and tease about, you know, how do you know if a politician is lying? His lips are moving. We have come to just accept that as a part of life, that, well, you know, this is all we have, this is what we're going to have to do, we get a vote. And I do agree that at some point we have to pick who is the best of the candidates, understanding nobody is ever going to be perfect. Nobody has ever been perfect except for Jesus. And so there is an element of, we have to take and vote for the people that are closest to having integrity, closest to morals, closest to biblical standards. And so we're always going to have to do that. But the idea that integrity doesn't matter is just foolish. Integrity does matter. Whether you're talking about having to purchase something, to buy something, to sell something, or just in our day-to-day dealings with each other, we need to have integrity. And it can be had. It is something we have to work at, though. We have to make a determination that what you see is what you get, that when you see me, I'm the same in front of you as I am when I'm not in front of you. Those kinds of things. It is an important piece of life, and especially now, it's an important piece of life. And God just says it very simply. It is better to have nothing but have your integrity intact than anybody who walks without integrity, who is perverse, who is a fool. So integrity is important. It is something that is achievable, but it is difficult because there is temptation everywhere to be less than genuine, less than honest. And let me help us too. Integrity doesn't mean, being honest and pure doesn't mean that every question you're ever asked you have to answer, or that you have to spill every secret that you have inside your head. That's not what this means. It doesn't mean that you are so open that there is nothing private to you. You don't have to answer a question. We don't have to answer everything that ever comes our way. It is okay to be private about certain things. There are certain things that are ours alone. It's something that's between my spouse and I, or close friends and I. It's not anybody else's business. And there are questions. I'm a very open person. Those of you who know me know I'm a very open person. But there are things that I will not answer. There are topics I will not discuss. They're private. They're personal. They aren't anybody's business but my own. Not discussing those doesn't mean you don't have integrity. It means that you have a privacy about you. There are things that belong to you, or belong to you and your mate, or belong to you and a friend. There are things that are private. So saying, well, I just don't, those aren't questions I answer, is not a lack of integrity. In fact, that is maintaining integrity, that you're maintaining a pureness, you're maintaining a genuineness, and that you're being honest and open to say, I don't talk about those things, especially when it comes to somebody's confidence. You know, to say I won't discuss that with you is not a lack of integrity. In fact, that's a great thing, that you can keep something private that should be private. And those are necessary pieces of our life. So don't confuse integrity and privacy. Integrity says that if I answer you, I'm going to be honest. If I deal with you, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be genuine and open in how I do that. But there are barriers. There are places that you don't have to go. So don't confuse those two. Just understand what God said. It's better to have absolutely nothing except your integrity. If you had nothing but integrity, you are miles ahead of those who walk perversely, who are foolish, who are disingenuous. So that doesn't mean you have to live a life of poverty, that you have to swear off and never have anything. He's just trying to make a comparison. It's better to be poor, but walk with integrity. Live and die in integrity than anything we think we are going to gain by being dishonest, by having a lack of integrity, by being foolish or perverse. So ponder those things today and strive to have true integrity. See you in the morning.